High life in the West African country of Ghana spearheaded the new wave and the emergence of young Africans worldwide. He's a Ghanaian raised in the metro areas of Accra and Kumasi, Ghana, New York and London. Ladies and gentlemen, Reginald Osei, popularly known as Reggie Rockstone. Right. Now, Gap Le Guru, popularly known, Gap Le Guru, Prosper Ekwagnon Gogoya, I hope I got the name correctly. Thank you. I don't like pronouncing names wrongly. He's one of the best music producers in Benin and a major entrepreneur in the West African sub-region. He's the director of the production label Guru Records, based in Benin, and has to his credit several successful discographic productions. Guru is a specialist in ICC, that's cultural and creative industries, issues in the music sector, a designer and director of cultural projects. Thank you very much for joining us. A big round of applause for him, please. My big brother here is a media veteran and director of special projects and communications with the Musicians Union of Ghana. He has about 30 years of experience in the music business as an artist, manager and administrator, and over 20 years of experience in the media as a presenter and media executive. Also a member of the SOZ Reggae Dancehall group in the late 80s and 90s. He has a book, Conversations on the Creative Arts in Ghana, to his credit. He has been involved in building, training and managing teams in the media and building brands and growing businesses over a decade. Daddy Bosco led the programming team of Adom FM, culminating in a number of awards for the station's programs, presenters, and himself. He is the vice chairman of the Ghana Culture Forum and is currently the general manager of Ahonto 92.3 FM here in Accra. Please, Daddy Bosco. When he was in school, he was nicknamed Joe Blackie because he's dark. Call him now and still he'll respond. Okay, a lecturer at the University of Ghana's Department of Music, School of Performing Arts. He teaches courses on Ghanaian popular music, African popular music, and the live music industry in Ghana. Additionally, he directs the department's pop ensemble. Dr. Sunu holds a PhD in music, applied ethnomusicology, and has been involved in various projects over the past decade, including studying Ghanaian indigenous popular musical arts, particularly palm wine music. His current research project focuses on highlight music for high schools. Please, let us give it up for Dr. Eric Sunudo. Yes. My sister here doesn't need any introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, the silkiest voice on our land, Efia Nocturnal. Please, big round of applause. Yeah? Welcome. Right. We are about to talk. I'm very sure we all know the reason we're here. The discussion on West Africa music and arts, history of West African music and its global contributions. But here, let me stand and observe all protocol. I see Honorable Minister, I see bosses of GT, Vice, Deputy Minister for Tourism and Culture, all protocol observed. Thank you very much for coming. All right. Now let's start our discussion. Daddy, where's your mic? Welcome.
Thank you.
Right. You know why we're here, right?
Most definitely.
Yes. And we're about to talk about our music, West African music. Speaking of West African music, now our music, we're doing quite well. And we even have our own Grammys. Yes, we're getting into the African Grammys. But speaking of West African music, just as I mentioned, what does it mean to you?
Okay, so I'll start from the genesis. And historians of music will tell you that the thing started when the first slaves were taken from this coast. They took their drums, they took their rhythms, they took their culture. So that was the first export of West African music. Then the music went from the Caribbeans to the Americans and returned to Africa. It's absolutely important that we contextualize this discussion from that perspective. A lot of people start talking about West African music from the days of Fela Kuti and the latter day Saints. But like I said, I'll take it from the slave trade era when the export first went. And then there's another name I want to mention, Kofi Ganaba, aka Guy Warren. Guy in 1958 was playing with John Coltrane, was playing with all the big jazz greats in the US. And that spawned the Afrofusion as we have it today. And so that's why today Burna Boy will say it's not playing Afrobeats, but it's playing Afrofusion. So that's the context from which I like us to have this conversation, look at the historical antecedents. And one last thing I'll say quickly before I give it back to you is the role of high life music in all this. And there's a certain factor that has been overlooked, the development of high life music in the 40s. The Temples Band was composed of seamen, soldiers, etc., and E.T. Mensah, Kofi Ganaba, Francis Doku's grandfather, and the likes. So when the war ended and these guys left, they had created a fusion of Western melodies, which Western ears are familiar with, and our indigenous rhythms. And that birthed what we're having today. And so for some of us, we're not amazed at the way West African music in its various derivatives is accepted globally right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For this question, I would want us all to share our experiences when it comes to West African music. So Mr. Lawani, please, if you can take over. Thank you.
Hi. Well, like I said, music is as old as mankind, and West Africa being one of the places that the most number of slaves were taken from, and the rhythm traveled with them. American gospel spirituals, all the way to jazz, to blues, to soul, can be traced. Again, we can spend years and years talking about how it started, but I'd like to give a personal experience. About 24 years ago, I was somewhere in Italy, in some hills, and there was an event by a big Italian business person, and they brought this band from Venezuela. I don't recall their name now. From Venezuela. And I sat in the audience and I listened to them play, and I got up and went like towards where the band was. And I joined them without rehearsing with them. I'm not a musician, but just that heartbeat on the conga. And then they're looking at me like, okay, we thought you're Black American. I said, no, I am from West Africa. And I said to them, the music you guys have played, the entire structure, the cadence, without knowing the language you're speaking, I can feel it, this is West African music. And they went there to educate me that yes, that what the origin of their music in Venezuela is from West Africa. So I was convinced right there and then that no matter what the theories about the spread of West African music is and how it has influenced the rest of the world, here I was with the Venezuelan band, no idea, and they were giving me what would have been easily a twist on Ghanaian music, or music from Benin Republic, or music from the Congo. So there was already like an eclectic mix, or what you might call like a mashup of different African sentiments, rhythm-wise, in their music. And they said to me, that can be found in Dominican Republic, it can be found in Honduras, and all along that coast. So this is my own personal experience, and that is enough evidence that anybody needs. And then the internet has made it easier now for things to travel from one end of the world to the other, and for things to be taken and mixed and diluted and be created into other forms that apparently led us to where we are in Africa today.
Yeah, so I would, because I'm in the academy, so I would take it a bit further than what the boss was saying. So I think of West African music in two different folds. One, the indigenous ones that are still active today, that we see in our communities along the West African coast. And then, of course, the popular kind as we describe them. And all these, for me, characterize what we can describe as West African music. Because of my research focuses, I focus on the Ghanaian aspect of it. But then we cannot take away the fact that when you think of popular music, for instance, and we think of West Africa, it is high life. I like what the second lady said, and I wrote it down, that high life has been the foundation on which many West African genres has been created. And that is very true. So that is how I think about West African music. Maybe you could say it's a bit generalized, but then I see it as high life music.
Thank you. Reggie?
Chumui. Well, my brothers have summed it all up. I had so much to say, but the time I drew me, I know I can even. So I just want you to, I mean, usually when us black folks congregate like this, there's always some Caucasian somewhere. But this is an all black affair here. This is some Malcolm X stuff. So yeah, you know how that begins. And so the code, yes, I'm recording a Moroccan. Be aware you have seen here for Africa. Everything that my brothers spoke on, not just the music, every other thing, from your spices, your fashion, your colors, everything. And be mind if we Africa. And see, here we are in our little secret meeting today. And I am glad, it's a good time to be alive. And I'm honored and privileged to be here. Thank you. Yes,
don't start a coup now. Well, thank you for having me. I would say for me, it is what we've been able to do in my generation is what we will call genre bending, where it is that we have taken the roots of what the sound it is that we came to meet and mix it with what it is that we have, that is the spice that adds to it for things like Afrobeats to evolve and the evolving of it for it to now be able to be heard globally by all types of people and accepted also. So I think that's a good place to be for all kind of West African music, and I can't wait to see what we do to it next. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Guru.
Yeah, thank you.
Guru will speak in French,
Yeah, I was speaking.
and she will translate it. Right, thank you.
Merci. Et à l'entame, avant de rentrer dans le speech, je voudrais, sous votre permission, qu'on se lève pour respecter la mémoire d'un ancien, parce que je suis ici comme, en tant que président d'une institution, et il y avait un Ghanéen qui est le professeur Kitia, qui avait travaillé beaucoup et avait porté Ghana très haut dans cette institution. Donc je voudrais qu'on se lève pour lui faire l'honneur au moins dans ce cadre et à tous ceux qui ont contribué à l'industrie musicale ghanéenne. Merci.
Thank you.
Alors, nous allons aborder dans le sens de l'histoire de la musique ouest africaine et son influence globale. Pour moi, je dis, nous allons aborder l'histoire de la musique ouest africaine et son influence globale.
So we are going to tackle the influence on African music globally.
Oui. La musique ouest africaine a une origine.
Western African music has an origin.
Et son origine principale, c'est purement des pratiques ancestrales, des pratiques traditionnelles qui régnaient la communauté africaine, surtout ouest africaine.
And these origins are mostly Okay, so cultural traditions, historic traditions,
et les pratiques de la tradition, tout africain. Et cette musique jouait de rôles précis. Et ça a évolué avec le temps.
and these songs had specific roles and they evolved from time to time.
Oui, c'est pour ça qu'au début, la musique était partie des courants, des cultures ancestrales, et c'était pas tout le monde qui pouvait faire de la musique.
And back then, music was based on ancestral things, and not everybody could actually do music.
Mais avec le temps, cette musique a quitté les royautés, ça a quitté les courants pour aller dans l'espace public, et c'est devenu un bien communautaire. C'est un bien communautaire pour les enfants.
But from time to time, the music has evolved and we are all exposed to music.
Alors, cette transformation jouait le rôle, soit ça servait à régler des conflits intercommunautaires, ça servait à sensibiliser les peuples, ça servait à honorer des rois et autres. En cela, on avait les griots, on avait certains spécialistes dans les couvents qui pouvaient entonner des chansons lorsque le roi, pour faire sortir le roi ou pour faire sortir les chefs traditionnels et autres.
This transformation has brought us a lot of things such as storytellings.
Ça joue le rôle.
It was playing a very specific role in the traditional society.
Alors, étant devenu un bien communautaire, alors ça c'est. Ok. He asked me to go slow by slow. I'm trying. Donc, et je dis, cette musique étant devenue un bien de la communauté,
This music has become a very good thing to the community.
il servait, jouait ce rôle de règlement de conflits de communication.
It played a role of solving conflict issues,
Ça a connu un voyage,
and it found a traveling road
à travers l'esclavage.
through slavery.
Et donc c'est en ce moment que cette musique est partie avec nos soeurs, nos parents qui étaient déportés dans les champs d'Amérique latine et d'autres directions.
And just like that, our brothers and sisters have evolved through the diaspora.
Et ils ont toujours gardé ce rôle